Good morning, and welcome to episode 158 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. A Russian plane carrying over 60 Ukrainian hostages crash-landed yesterday. It was on its way to a prisoner exchange at the Russian-Ukraine border. There were no survivors reported. Yesterday was one of the deadliest days for Israelis since the start of the Israeli-Hamas conflict, as two buildings collapsed on soldiers in the midst of an operation. On the coattails of that, Hamas has reached out to international mediators saying that they would be willing to execute a prisoner exchange in exchange for a significant pause in fighting. In New Hampshire, former President Trump went ahead and won the Republican primary, setting him up, as we all expect, for a collision course with President Biden in November at the election polls. Equities markets continue to inch forward. People are placing their bets in favor of holding risk assets. In the meantime, precious metals are holding steady from one week to the next. Not much movement, but a slight upward bias. Let's go ahead and take a look at those numbers. Gold is up 0.4% to $2,033.70, up from 2025 last week. Silver is virtually unchanged, up a penny to $22.84 from $22.83 last week. Platinum's up 2.4% at $921 an ounce. That's up $22 from $899 last week. Palladium's up 3.8%. It's your big winner on the week, although it tends to be more volatile up and down. It's at $992 this week, up from $956 an ounce last week, with silver staying put and gold rising slightly. Your gold-silver ratio, the number of ounces of silver it takes to buy an ounce of gold, has increased to 89.35 from 89.05 last week, and your dollar index has weakened slightly to 103.14 from 103.34 last week. As we go forward, I want you to go ahead and pay particular attention to the dollar. That's where gold's going to get its cue. Obviously, it's a time-proven negatively correlated asset to the U.S. dollar, so keep your eye on the dollar. If it's weak or weakening, you would expect gold to show some signs of life, although many are feeling that gold's not going to get going till the latter half of this year. We will see. That just gives us an extended opportunity to buy at very attractive prices before the next leg up in both gold and silver. Let's face it, the Congress is showing no will whatsoever to balance budgets. Therefore, we're going to continue to deficit spend. That will absolutely lead to an expansion of the currency, which absolutely leads to inflation of consumer prices, to include gold and silver. Buy it now while it's cheap. As always, we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us, send us your comments and questions, subscribe to our social media sources, as well as our twice weekly Always Something Interesting alerts and our once monthly information line newsletters. But don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.